So today I'm going to talk about the CompTIA 8 Plus 22801 information on implementing SOHO routers. And a SOHO router is an all-in-one device, typically has an internet connection and Wi-Fi. Configuring the router using the config utility within the router. When setting up, you open your web browser and use the default IP address for configuring it, and it is recommended to change the default IP from its factory setting IP. Configurations for SOHO routers is common ones are MAC address filtering, radio channels, port filtering, forwarding and triggering, SSID broadcasting, encryption, DHCP and NAT, DMZ or demilitarized zone, WPS and QoS. So talking about using MAC address filtering, you can allow or deny devices to access to a network based on their MAC address. Find MAC address in the command prompt. Go to pcconfig/all. They talk about port forwarding, what it is, what ports you want to open or close. That's for port filtering. So port filtering, I'll read this again, is what ports you want open or closed. Port forwarding, requests from a firewall are forwarded to a device in a network. Port triggering, you can allow ports to open if other ports are opened at specific times. You'll have to look more on port filtering, port forwarding, and port triggering if you want to understand all of that. For port forwarding and port triggering, you need a static IP address, and so do the hosts or on a network need a static IP address as well. Going on from there, using SSID, you can choose to broadcast or hide the signal, so people cannot detect your network when they're searching for open internet connections. Next, we'll talk about hardware firewalls and software firewall. Router may act as a I guess we might not talk about the firewalls. We'll see. Router may act as a DHCP server, conflicting with a network domain. This can be configured by plugging a router into a PC offline and configuring. If this is disabled, you need to add your router IP to your computer's subnet. Next, going on to DMZ, is a zone between an internal network and an external network. It's separated from the internal network using a firewall. DMZ firewall typically has 3 network interfaces. One going to the internet, one going to the isolated services, and one going to the internal network. Next, we'll talk about NAT, N-A-T, is ability to protect your network by changing your internal IP to an external IP. NAT advantages, protects internal IP addresses, enhances security, also enables sharing of external IP addresses. Going on from there, we'll talk about WPS. WPS can be used to connect a SOHO router to a network. WPS uses extensible authentication protocol, or EAP, to secure data in wireless networks. QoS is what we'll talk about last, and QoS, quality of service, can control the resources needed for each client on the network. Data packets can be prioritized based on the interfaces, depending what your needs are. So, well, this is Keith, the IT teaching guy. Like I said, the best place I think is freeaplus.com if you want to learn all of your A+ information and get ready for your test. So keep on studying.